Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or much depending on your location. Please join in the struggle to liberate our people from the contraption. Like and share videos. Today is Friday, the 10th day of May 2024. I bring you this update. Kanu is not facing charges based on terrorism, rather, based on broadcast and furtherance of terrorism. Yes, that is what the legal team say in making clarifications that the charges Mazi Kanu is facing today is not that he committed a terrorist act. Yes, rather because of the broadcast he made while in UK. Broadcast. But the federal government said it's in furtherance of terrorism. In furtherance of terrorism. Not terrorism charges. Because he committed no offense related to terrorism. Yes, that is the legal team trying to make clarifications because of the distortions the conventional media they are doing. Distortions. These conventional media and the contraption when they want to relay the news relating to the case of Mazi Kanu, they will say terrorism. Terrorism. Some will even say terrorist. Accused person. It's an accused person, yes, because of the broadcast he was making while in UK. Broadcast. It was not, caught in act of terrorism. No. Yes. So he is not a terrorist, number one. He has not been charged with terrorism. Rather, rather broadcast in furtherance of terrorism. So you have seen the difference there. It's clear. But this conventional media decided to carry out this defamation. Yes, because they want to play to the gallery. Some of them are brand envelope journalists. So the legal team making the clarification said, quote, the attention of Nnamdi Kanu's legal team has been drawn to certain misinformations being published about his case in the media. For the reason that such inaccurate publications are prejudicial and likely to mislead the general public, it has become imperative to issue the following clarifications. First, Nnamdi Kanu is not currently facing any treasonable felony charge. The correct information is that from 2015 to late 2021, he was facing 2 treasonable felony charges. However, even as he was renditioned, particularly for the treasonable felony offences, both charges were dropped by the federal government after Kanu's rendition from Kenya. Another charge that was dropped was the misdemeanor bordering on some allegation of defaming former President Buhari. Thus, from 2015 to 2021, Kanu was arrested, detained, charged, prosecuted, nearly killed in Python dance, exiled, disappeared, and infamously renditioned for charges that were all later dropped. Second, Kanu is at the moment facing charges wholly related to broadcast alleged to have been made in furtherance of terrorism. This does not mean the same thing as Kanu facing charges for personally committing any physical terrorist act, as aspects of the media often mistakenly suggest. This is not semantics, as the mere altering of words or making broadcast is, at law, markedly different from committing an overt physical act. Suffice it to say that this is one of the obscurations that will as yet create profound legal complications as Kanu hankers down to defend himself against charges that carry the death penalty. Third, the declaration of IPOB as a terrorist group by the Buhari regime in 2017 was not driven by any evident act of terrorism, but by a discriminatory tendency, which was later declared unconstitutional in a landmark judgment by the High Court in October 2023. It was therefore expected that the present government, being more committed to rule of law is, as it were, would have, pursuant to this judgment, taken administrative measures to formally deproscribe IPOB on its own volition. Fourth, the judgment of the Supreme Court in December last year unequivocally exonerated Kanu from any notion of having jumped his bail in 2017. To be sure, the Supreme Court, which was made aware of the pertinent judgment of Abia State High Court of January 2022, quoted copiously from that judgment in making its ruling that rather than Kanu, it is the federal government that is responsible for Kanu's inevitable flight to exile. For this reason, the Supreme Court held that Kanu's bail should not have been revoked, that the revocation and bench warrant were obtained by the deception, and that his extraordinary rendition was a criminal act by agents of the Nigerian state. It is therefore a double whammy that those who committed these grave criminal acts against Kanu are amongst those detaining and prosecuting him. Finally, let it be clear that the kernel of this whole case, right from its inception in 2015, was Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's professed commitment to self-determination. In other words, Kanu is possessed of a protected political opinion Buhari's government timidly considered criminal and thus sought to suppress it by means of punishment of some sort. This is exactly the reason the United Nations Human Rights Council had, in July 2022, directed for Kanu's unconditional release and discontinuation of his trial. Other international tribunals have also weighed in against his trial and continued detention. Thus, as the trial is docketed to proceed apace, it remains to be seen if Nigeria will ultimately succeed in insulating itself from its treaty obligations. Accordingly, we hereby urge the esteemed members of the media to be guided by these verifiable facts in their future publications regarding this case. Signed by Aloy Ejimako, Esquire, for Nnamdi Kanu's legal team. End of quote. So, this is what happened. Yes. So, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been discharged and acquitted, but the federal government continues to keep him in detention. But being that as it may, what Aloy Ejimako and the legal team is saying, that the conventional media says they have to stop these distortions they are doing. IPOB prescribed. IPOB is not prescribed. A court of competent jurisdiction have said IPOB is not prescribed. It's a legal entity. Yes, backed by law. So, but you will see them. This is a conventional media. They will put up proscribed indigenous people of Biafra. Yes, and this is wrong. Both their TV and their paper, the print media, electronic and the print media, all of them are into it. Proscribed IPOB, proscribed indigenous people of Biafra. You have seen it. So, whereas IPOB has been deproscribed by a court of competent jurisdiction. Oh yes, the same way Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been discharged and acquitted, the federal government refused to release him. The same way media refused to understand the judgment of Abia State High Court